Good evening, fam. Twisted Beard, GoodMoFos R5, here with you this evening. Hope everybody's had a lovely day. We are about 36 hours or so away from the start of X24. And once Eden begins, things tend to get a little crazy for me. So I thought I would take this brief time now to try and knock out a video or two here for all of you before this next season gets real heavy and time gets real short. So one video that has been requested a couple times and one that I've been wanting to make for all of you for some time is a video on Lord equipment. And I thought we'll take some time here this evening to go over Lord equipment and discuss that a bit, and we'll all learn something together here tonight. And I just feel that this is a really good topic to handle, kind of twofold, in that one, it's something that all of us are working on every day, whether we know it or not, and two, it's just one of those subjects that I feel is kind of surrounded by some gray area, and people aren't fully aware of the possibilities and the importance of having a firm grasp of your Lord understanding. It's one of those, and perhaps, the best definition in rock of one of those aspects that is slow and steady wins the race. And it's by no means instant gratification. It's quite the opposite of that, frankly. But at the same time, for those that are able to hang in there and do the work and do the necessary, they're certainly going to be moving a lot faster, as regards this topic, this subject, than those that are kind of, just leaving it be because they feel they don't have time, or that it's just taking too long, or they don't understand, or whatever the case may be. And as we all know, our combat prowess is really a sum total of all the aspects of, combat that go into it. And the one that we don't address, the one that we just forget about, will, at least in time, if not immediately, become our Achilles heel. And anybody that's a serious player, and anybody that even just wants to have some competitive fun, doesn't want to get left behind. And this is just one of those areas that a lot of people are leaving behind. You don't want to be one of them. And for those that do want to take this aspect seriously, I think it provides a wonderful opportunity to get out ahead. And especially for the free-to-play player, I think it presents a wonderful ability to get out ahead. Thinking to my own game now, I have spent little to nothing on this aspect of play, and I'm a spender. So certainly free-to-play players that are serious about this part of the game could very well be far out ahead of me at this point in time, and I'm sure many of you are, and congratulations to those of you who are. So, okay. So with no further ado, let's start digging into this, serious and in-depth topic of gameplay here. So, We'll go in a somewhat chronological order as best as we can, but there really isn't a straightforward way to do that. But in any event, let's get started. So, Lord equipment. As you can see right now, there are 4 pieces. There is the weapon, there is the necklace, there is the armor, and there is the we'll call it accessory. So far it's either ring or book. And where we're at now, just shy of the beginning of X24, there are 2 different types of Lord equipment. There's the basic stuff that you get from your woodwards and that you can get in your material shop and easily like that. Excuse me. And then there's the secondary, more rare version of Lord equipment that you, at this point in the game at least, can only get by forging. And generally speaking, the pieces of Lord equipment that you get by forging are going to be better than the ones that you get from the woodwards or from the material store, or more readily. The sword is going to be less powerful than the axe, generally speaking. For example, 2 types of necklaces, 2 types of armor, but the first one is generally going to be less powerful than the second, and the book is generally going to be more powerful than the ring. Though that's not a set rule. There are some rings, for example, that are going to be better than some books. There are going to be some swords that are going to be better than some axes. Excuse me, dry throat tonight. And as you can see with my own equipment, there are going to be some orange pieces that are better than some gold pieces. Okay, so keep all that in mind, and we'll come back to these 4 and we'll start looking at attributes and talking about all of that later. But I think we will tackle that a little bit further down the road. So let's jump out of looking at my Lord equipment right now. Jump out to the main map and first look at mining and monsters that are going to impact your Lord equipment. So the first thing, most of you are mining pretty much on the daily, or when you can remember to do your mining, but really you need to remember to do it. And not only do it, but you need to remember to get up close. And not only do you need to remember to get up close, but you need to remember to get up close at the right type of mine. And those type of mines are going to be essentially one of 2 things. It's either going to be the Emperor mine, or it's going to be the type of mine that your mastery is in. And really, I can think of few, if any, scenarios when you're going to want to deviate from either one of those 2 types of mines, frankly. So with that said, if we jump back into my Lord equipment here, and we jump over to Forge, and we jump into Forge now, we can see my major mastery. And my major mastery is accessory. Oh, and talking before about the technical names of the 4 types of Lord equipment, as we can see here, they are weapon, armor, amulet, and accessory. So my major mastery, as you can see, is accessory, okay? And accessory equates to the yellow mines, okay? The yellow mining equipment, okay? And I'm only on level 5 right now, sadly, and I'm gunning it for level 6 really hard right now. I'm taking my Lord equipment more serious than ever in the past couple months here, and hope to be at level 6 very soon, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But I am accessory mastery, okay? So that's the yellow. So for some reason, I find the yellow is the rarest, at least on my map. I don't know why, but I find that it is. So it's hardest to find the yellow. And right now on my map, there is no yellow. If there was yellow, because that is my mastery and because I need materials right now in my mastery, if there was a yellow on my map, I would jump over to the yellow right now, okay? And for me, it's best when the Emperor mine is also a yellow, but no such luck here this evening. But let me zoom out and we'll look again, and we can see that there is no yellow, and you should always do this looking for your own color as well as the Emperor mine. Zoom out to find where you need to be. But we can see that the Emperor mine is here. It's blue, okay? So I'm gonna jump over to my Fortress of Glory. I'm going to recall it. going to zoom back out. I know it's that one over here. I'm going to build my Fortress of Glory as close as I possibly can. Always take a moment to take a peek and get the closest spot you can. So I'm going to do that. I'm building right there. I'm going to click on the mine. I'm going to send both of my miners to the blue mine. I'm going to then click on that mine and share it with my alliance, and my province is all friends and gets along. So just for good measure, I will also share the alliance or the Emperor mine in province chat as well. Okay. Beyond that, and it's tough to keep up on this all the time, especially during Eden, but in a perfect world, this would be done every single day. And I'm just going to show you now for good measure. I'm the R5, so I can do this. Any R4 or R5 can do this, and it's just good practice to get your R4s and R5s doing this. So we'll click on the mine, we'll click on here, we'll go to alliance coordinates. I like the flag for orders kind of like this, so I'm going to click on the flag. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to type Emperor Mine with the flag for alliance coordinates, and I'm going to click OK. So now that's done. So now my entire alliance can see where the Emperor Mine is. And now you can see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's already a good chunk of my alliance mining at the Emperor Mine already, but by actually making it a marker, now more people are going to see it. These mines go for a good bit of time, so even if they're not online now, there's a good chance they're going to see it when they log in 3-4 hours later. And this will get as many of our people mining at the same mine as possible by sharing in alliance chat, by sharing in province chat, and then by setting the marker. We've done all we can reasonably do. We're not going to send a message every time this happens. So we've done all we can reasonably do. And the reason that we want as many people from our alliance all on the same mine as possible, and the reason that we want to be on the Emperor Mine is easy. It's just because we get more in each one of our loads. Okay, so you'll have to forgive me. So Alliance Minor Q 18, Alliance Minor Q bonus 18 at time. So you can find the stats on another day. I'm not going to trouble you while I look around, but long story short and guaranteed, the more people from your alliance that are mining at the same mine, the more of a bonus each and every one of you is going to get. All of us give all of us a bonus. So, better to have 5 than 1, better to have 10 than 5, better to have 50 than 10, better to have 100 than 50. So the more of your alliance you can all get on the same mine, the better off you're going to be. And then you also get a mining increase, a mining buff from mining at the Emperor Mine. So that's always the mine that you want to try and rally around, get your alliance to rally around. All of you try and do together to get the biggest absolute take possible with every trip. And if you fill up, that's great. Then you just claim and you go back to doing it again. The goal here is to accumulate as many materials and chests as fast as absolutely possible. And we'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into the reasons why for that more shortly here down the line. But that is your initial goal. Just keep that in the back of your head as phase 1, step 1. When it comes to mining, you want to be accumulating as many materials as absolutely possible all the time, 24/7. And the best way to do that is to be on the Emperor Mine and to have as many others from your alliance on the Emperor Mine as absolutely possible. The only time you want to deviate from that is if and when you need your own materials for forging. If, say for the sake of the argument, you're yellow like me, and There is a yellow mine available right now, and it's not the Emperor mine, and you need yellow materials. Maybe you go to the yellow mine. But other than that, you're always at the Emperor mine because that's where you're going to get materials the fastest. All right? So you got that. We're on the same page there. Okay. Next thing. Let's jump into our monsters. We're going to go down to the very last two sinister. Actually, let's start with Woodward. We'll go to Woodward. I know you've all been killing your 10 Woodwards a day. That's good. You need to keep doing that. And here is why. So the first one, you're always going to get the bonus rewards. That's just going to be for the first one that you kill, the first one you do. But with your bonus rewards, you're going to get a piece of equipment. You're going to get a purple casting core. You're going to get some gold, some gems, some speed ups. That's great too. But it's those first two things you really need. The level 5 Lord equipment and the purple casting drawing, okay? And on your subsequent 9, on the ladder 9, you still have that chance for the level 5 Lord equipment, which you need as much of that as absolutely possible, and another casting drawing, okay? So that's why we're killing our Woodwards, and that's why we need to make sure we're doing our 10 a day, is to make sure we're getting as many casting drawings as possible and to make sure we're getting as many casting cores as possible. Oh, and Lord equipment, casting drawings, and casting cores. So we're not getting any casting cores here, but we need those too. Okay, so that's what we're getting from Woodward that relates to our Lord equipment. Next, we have Sinister Miner. And we need to kill all 10 of our Sinister Miners every day as well. They are going to give us the stones that we need, the Lava Stone, the Emerald Stone, the Frost Stone, and the Apollo Stone, as well as more casting drawings. And you need all the casting drawings you can get, and you need all the materials you can get. So we need to be sure that we're killing all 10 of our Sinister Miners every day as well. Quick deviation before I get back to the main topic. When you are killing your monsters every day, if you are sure to make sure that you have a gold scavenger hat on the legion that you're attacking with, you're going to get minus 20% stamina cost on attacking all of the non-rally monsters. So i.e. all of the Sinister Miners, all of the Hill Splitters, you're going to go down from 20 to 14 if you're wearing a gold scavenger hat. And especially during Eden and when things heat up and you're in Eden most of the time, you can't get back to your home state as much and you don't want to waste stamina because you're mainly in Eden, it's good to make sure you're using those gold hats to conserve your stamina, to make sure that you can kill as many of your monsters and all your monsters every day effectively. Okay? So gold scavenger hat when you're doing your monsters. I can't reiterate that enough. If you don't have 4 gold scavenger hats, get 4. If you have 1, rotate it, but that's a pain in the ass, so get yourself 4, okay? Back to our main topic. So again, looking at the Sinister Miners real quick, you're gonna get the stones, you're gonna get the casting drawings. So as far as the main map goes and what you can be doing here to give yourself the things that you need for the Lord equipment, it is to be sure that you're mining and to be sure that you're killing your monsters. Monsters, easy, just make sure you do 10 a day on the Woodwards, 10 a day on the Sinister Miners. Make sure that you have your gold scavenger hat equipped when you're killing your Sinister Miners to save stamina, okay? Mines, again, you want to be doing the Emperor mine. And in the few times when you need to deviate from that, it should only be to the type of mine that is your mastery when you need those materials. If you can get your R4s, R5, or if you are an R4, R5, to tag the Emperor mine every day, it's a little tedious, but it's helpful. And there's a good deal of R4s, so if that can just become common practice within your alliance, you're all going to be more efficient at mining, and that's all for the good for everybody. All right? So now let's jump into our Fortress of Glory. We'll hit enter. Okay? So we can see right there under Fortress Depot, our stockpile for the various 4 types of mining materials that there are. You can see that I'm the lowest in yellow. That's because that's my mastery, and because I just did a good deal of forging recently, which did take me down pretty much to 0. So that's building up again right now. Beneath that, you can see my miner team 1 and miner team 2 are both going. When the mine disappears, or when you reach your maximum for that run, they will stop, okay? And when they stop, you're gonna get a certain amount of chests relating to the mining that you can open. And those chests are very important because often you're going to get casting cores in those. And casting cores are exceedingly, exceedingly, exceedingly important. They are the most crucial material or just thing that you need in order to move forward with your Lord equipment. So getting those casting cores is just crucial, and you will get casting cores in the chests that come from mining. And anything you can do to get casting cores, you absolutely want to do, because you need all the casting cores you can get. One thing I don't have a visual for you on right now, but you'll all know what I'm talking about when I reference it, so we don't really need the visual. When we go to our White Crow quests, there's always that one that's lurking there even when you finish your White Crow quests that pop up every 8 hours, and that is the White Crow quest relating to your Lord equipment. And I know a lot of people leave that hanging each week and don't follow through too hard with that each week, but you really need to be tackling that White Crow Lord equipment quest each week. It goes to level 30, and if and when on the weeks you can get to level 30, there's usually some really good stuff in that level 30 box that's going to help you. If you look at it in a period of, say, 3 weeks, about every 3 weeks, one of the L30 chests is going to be excellent, one of the L30 chests is going to be really good, and one of the L30 chests is going to be helpful. Okay, so I always open the L30 chest each week to see, where it ranks. Is this something I really, really, really want, or is this something that's good, or is this something that's great? Okay, and if it's something I really, really, really want, like was this week, and that's why you don't see it for me, I will make sure I get to L30 in order to get that L30 reward, okay? But even if you can't make it to L30, as a general rule of thumb, and I'll say this twice and listen closely because this is important, every week you should always go as far as you can go using the normal L1 equipment, the normal first type of equipment, the sword versus the axe, the ring versus the book, that equipment. And you'll have a stockpile of that in your bag that you can open. It's probably, 25, 50, 100, 200 pieces of the sword, the ring, the necklace, and the armor. And when you need a piece of that, just open it from your bag or kill another woodward or, whatever you need to do to easily get that. But whatever you can do with that first tier of Lord equipment, you should always push your White Crow quests as far as you can. And the reason for that is, well, one, you want to get to L30 whenever you can, and whenever you can quasi-easily do that, you should do that. And whenever there's a really good thing there, you should really try and do that if it's reasonably attainable. But beyond that, typically, every 3 levels, it's going to give you a casting core. Sometimes it just gives you materials, but 2 out of 3 times or so, 3 out of 4 times maybe even, every time you advance 3 levels on the White Crow quests, it's going to give you a casting core, maybe even 2 casting cores. And you need all the casting cores you can get, all the L5 casting cores you can get, the blue casting cores. Those are the crucial, imperative item that you're going to need, okay? So push those White Crow quests. That's the other thing, along with your mining and your killing of monsters, that you can do to really help your Lord equipment in terms of gaining the initial materials that you need to push the rest of the ship forward, to push everything else forward. Okay, so that's phase 1. Okay? Now, phase 2. We jump into, I mean, there's other ways you can do it too, but let's just jump into our Fortress of Glory from the main map. Enter. We're going to go to the mineral store, and you're going to want to do this every single day. And one of the reasons that you want to be, and the primary reason you want to be, mining at the Emperor Mine every day in order to get the most materials possible on your trips, along with those chests that you're going to get. And if you do it fast, you're going to get eight mining chests, and the more chests you have, the more casting cores you can potentially get. But the other reason that you want a lot of materials as fast as possible, even if they're not part of what your mastery is because you want to go to the mineral store, and then you want to sell everything every day that is not part of your mastery. I'm yellow, so notice that I'm not selling the yellow. Notice how I sold everything that was not yellow. The reason I didn't sell yellow is because my mastery is accessory. Accessory is tied to yellow. I need those materials, so I don't want to sell those materials, trade those materials out. But for blue, green, and red, every day I'm going to sell all I can at the mineral store to get extra pieces of Lord equipment. Okay, so this is phase 2, we'll call it. Okay, is taking all those materials that you get from mining and killing the monsters, and even if they're not part of your mastery, you're selling those at the mineral store every day to get as much equipment as absolutely possible. And killing the woodwards is also going to stockpile your equipment as well. Okay, so keep that in mind, bear that in mind, do that every day. Okay? Now, there are buildings that allow us to do this, okay? But the easiest way to do it is just going to be to click on your power, click on your profile, and down at the bottom, we're going to see on the bottom left, Lord Equipment Leaderboard. We don't really need that. I mean, this is just telling the ranking for all the different types of equipment. We'll just go through it quick, just because why not? So it shows, I'm not really sure what the Omen Crown is yet. I don't, but anyways, if somebody knows what the Omen Crown is, let me know in the comments. But you can see the other 8 pieces of material here, the first tier of 4, and then the second tier of 4. And, you know, who's got the best score of each, and then you can kind of compare your score ranking with that. You don't really need that, but there it is. Next one that's down there is the forge. So this is where you're going to forge your equipment. Next one is the trade house. Next one is the depot. Now, the trade house, you know, devs, I love you, but I think you kind of botched it on this one a little bit. Nobody is spending money on these coins, as far as I know. So you can go to sell your piece of equipment, and even if you put it down to rock bottom pricing, nobody ever buys it because nobody owns these coins. So this is just kind of a dead part of the game right now, and I hope the devs, you know, take heed and start finding ways to make these coins free, at least to get the ball rolling. And then once people find it useful, they can start charging them down the line. But right now, this is basically a dead aspect of the game. So you don't really need to worry much about the trade house. If you want to spend money to buy these coins, to buy this Lord equipment, you can. But unless you're daddy or mama Warbucks, I wouldn't recommend that, because there's a lot better ways you can spend your money in the game. Even if you have money to spend on the game, there's way better things you can spend your money on than this. So I probably wouldn't do this. So just the trade house is kind of a non-thing right now, but there it is. The two down at the bottom that you're gonna regularly want to access are Forge and Depot. Okay, so let's go into Depot next. So remember, we just bought items at the mineral store, you know, the sword, the necklace, the ring, etc., etc. And those items that we just bought now just went into our depot. Okay, so these are all in our depot now. And if you look up towards the top left, you can see that my depot capacity is 191 of 200. Okay? So you can't go above 200, or it'll start turning it into back stock, more or less, that you then open, and then it will determine, you know, if it's a green, blue, purple, orange, gold level piece of Lord equipment. But right now I'm at 191 of 200, and I have it selected on all right now, so everything's just right here. General, I never really click on that. I'm not even sure what that does. So it looks like it didn't change a whole lot. So I just leave it on all. Equipment just shows the 9 things. Actually, let's look at this Omen Crown quick and see if it teaches us anything. Omen Crown. You get 1 to 6 attributes, Soldier's Might. Okay, how do we get it? Maybe we need to get to forging level 10. I'm not sure. So forgive me, everyone. I don't know what's going on with Omen Crown yet, other than that it's there, and I hope to be there soon. And somebody tell me more in the comments, and I'm not going to waste time trying to figure it out. But that's there too. Other than the Omen Crown, you can see the other 8 types of equipment there. And it just tells you more about what you can get and just more about that type of equipment. Generally, if you click there, again, you can access the leaderboard from here, not really too necessary. But what's important in the depot, and why you're going to go into the depot often, and why you want to go into the depot, is where it says split. Okay, so let's go into split. We'll go into split. Okay, and what split means is just that. I'm sure you're familiar with the term, but it's going to take a given thing, and in this case, the Lord equipment, break it down into its basic components, more or less, and give those rawest of components back to you. It's like when you split a hero or you split whatever else. So splitting equipment is really, 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 really important. And the reason that we want that overabundance of materials is so we can get an overabundance of equipment. And the reason that we want the overabundance of equipment is so that we can split it. Okay? And when we're splitting, what we want to be splitting, at least in our early game, or at least for 99% of the players right now walking into X24, what we want to be splitting is that first tier level of equipment, okay? The sword, there's 2 necklaces, but the first necklace, the first set of armor, and then the ring versus the book. You all know what I'm talking about. So that stuff that you get from the woodwards and you know, from the mine chests, or, you know, from the miners, from all the easy stuff, etc. That's what you want to be splitting. And the reason you want to be splitting that versus that second tier is because that first tier is where you're going to get your level 5 casting cores. And the most important thing for moving forward is level 5 casting cores. Okay? So again, just think of it in your head. Materials equals equipment. Equipment equals casting cores. Casting cores equals furthering your major mastery. Furthering your major mastery, you know, improves all your equipment horizons, okay? So we'll get into more and more of that as we go by. So again, we're sitting here and splitting equipment right now. As you can see towards the middle, on the right side right now, it says golden and below. We're gonna wanna jump over to green and below. Sometimes you go up to blue, up to purple. I rarely split anything orange or above. Ideally, you're splitting green because that's what you have the most of and what you can get the most easily. Again, the higher level stuff, even if you don't need it, it's fodder for your White Crow Lord Equipment quests, which require blue, they require purple, they require gold, they require orange and then gold. So you want to be holding on to these pieces for those quests so much as you're able. So that said, I've selected green and below. Sometimes you need to split equipment just to make room in your depot so that you can move forward with your White Crow Lord Equipment quests. Other times you're splitting equipment just because you're going for those level 5 casting cores, okay? So right now, I'm only at 191 of 200, so I don't need to split for the sake of creating room, but for the sake of this video, I am gonna do some splitting for the sake of creating level 5 casting cores. So again, we wanna be selecting that first tier type of equipment so much as we are able. What did I do? Okay, there we go. Okay, now if you look down at the bottom right, you see the green button that says split, and right above that it says chance to get 8. Those are blue casting cores. You can see on the left side down at the bottom, we're also going to get some materials. That's great, but we don't really care about that as much. That's easy to get. What we're really interested in are the casting cores, are the level 5 blue casting cores. And sometime about 3 months ago, 2 months ago or so, I noticed that the devs tweaked something. And when splitting equipment, it became far more likely that you're going to actually get some level 5 casting cores when you do this. And this then made focusing on your Lord equipment that much more imperative, because now it's that much easier and doable to move forward for those that know the process and are doing it right, okay? So as you can see down at the bottom, if we split right now, we're gonna have a chance of receiving 8 casting cores, okay? We might not get any, we might get 2, we might get 3, we might get some other stuff, but what we're after are the level 5 casting cores, okay? So really, that's what we're after, that's what we're going for. So let's split our 8 right now. We'll split. Boom, 3 level 5 casting cores. 5 months ago, I'd have got 1 on a good day, okay? Now I just got 3. That's huge. Really good. Really big, okay? Let's try it one more time just for good measure, since we're making a video and since I love you guys. Boom, 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 boom. And you can see if you select the wrong one, I'll accidentally select this book. Now look down in the bottom right, it went to a purple casting core versus a blue casting core. We only want purple casting cores if we have to make space and there's no more blue to get rid of, or if you have an overabundance of green level of whatever your mastery is, okay? But otherwise you want to be going for those blue casting cores, you don't want the purple. So get rid of your green stuff, okay? So again, bottom right, chance for 8 level 5 casting cores. Let's hope for the best. Split our 8. Boom. Bam! 5! Wow! That's amazing. So I just got 8 level 5 casting cores right there from 16 green pieces of Lord equipment. That's just awesome. So even on a, that's more than what one can typically expect. But I mean, if you can get, an average of 1 blue casting core for every, 8 pieces of equipment that you're splitting, you're doing really good and you're moving in the right direction. But that was just crazy right there. But exemplifies what I'm talking about, how it's gotten a lot easier lately to get those casting cores than it was previously, okay? So that's great. So now you understand what we're doing at the depot, you understand what we're doing with splitting, you understand why we're splitting, we're going for those L5 casting cores, all right? So that is what's going on right there. All right, now let's jump back. And we'll go into Forge. And now we'll go to Forge now. And you can see we can forge any of the 4 types of equipment right now. And this is all going to give us that newer, stronger L2 equipment, you know, axe versus sword, you know, ring versus book, etc., etc., etc. Now, the only forging you want to do initially is to get yourself one decent weapon, one decent amulet, one decent armor, and one decent accessory. And even in chasing that first one decent, preferably, second tier level of Lord equipment, you're still not going to want to waste too many of your casting cores doing that. Just be patient. Be a 2 marshmallow kid, not a 1 marshmallow kid. All right? Good things will come to those who wait. And the reason for that is this, okay? Let's go back into Forge. All right? Now we'll go into Forge, okay? Now, if we look in the top right corner, Major Mastery, I'm at L5, 1,800 of 18,000, okay? If we look down at the bottom here, after clicking on our Major Mastery, we can see the bonus that we get for each level, okay? I'm at level 5 right now, okay? The 2 big levels are the 2 to come, level 6 and level 7, okay? Level 6, the reason L6 is big is because L6 is going to allow us to begin crafting L10 accessories, and that's just going to be huge to be able to craft L10 accessories versus L5 accessories. And those first players that are at L10 a good deal before the rest of everyone else, they're going to have a big advantage, most likely for many months, if not longer, against everybody else that's been lackadaisy in terms of pushing forward their Major Mastery. Okay, so level 6 is going to be just absolutely huge. And then level 7, if we look more towards the top, it says Minor Mastery unlocks when the Major Mastery reaches level 7. So once we reach level 7, yes, we are going to get the load increase at the mine, and that's going to be nice. But more importantly, we're going to get the Minor Mastery as well, and then we're going to be able to start building towards our Minor Mastery as well. I'm not exactly sure what that's specifically going to entail, but I know it's something I want to be pursuing, and that it's going to give me extra benefits, and that I'm only going to get there after my Major Mastery reaches level 7. So L6 right now is seriously important for me. I'm making a big push for L6. I am doing everything within my power to get there as fast as absolutely possible. And essentially that means L5 casting cores. That's really what's needed more than anything else in order to reach, in order to progress with your mastery. So, okay. So that said, we know that my Major Mastery is accessory. So we're going to go into accessory right now. Okay. And if we look kind of towards the middle right-hand side, we can see that 13 of 1. That's the L5 casting cores, 8 of which we just got from swapping or from splitting that equipment. So that's huge. If we wouldn't have done that, we'd only be sitting at 5 instead of 13. The middle are the casting drawings. Those are what we're getting from killing the Woodwards and from the the Sinister Miners. As you can see, I'm at 153 of 1, though, or 153, and it only takes 1 for each forging. So those are easier to get. They're still important, but they're easier to get. The real big one is that L5 casting core. Okay, so looking more down towards the bottom, you can see forge and you can see mass forging. If we hit forge, it's just going to give us one piece. So if, for example, you're trying to just get a blue piece or a purple piece of something that's not your major mastery for your white crow quest that you're trying to complete, and you don't want to burn up 10 casting cores, that's when you're just using the singular forge to just do 1. When you're trying to move your major mastery forward and you have enough casting cores to do it, hit mass forging. That's going to create 10 pieces for you, or as many pieces as your materials will allow. And frankly, I think your likelihood of getting a high-level piece of equipment increases when you do 10 versus when you do batches of 1. So it's going to save you time, and I think it does increase your likelihood a little bit as well. Everybody forgive me, pardon the dog, the wind, and the airplanes, and the music. I'm trying to dodge all 4 right now and can't seem to get away from any of them completely, but I know you'll understand. So anyways, so that is what's going on. So that said, let's hit mass forging right now. I have 13 L5 casting cores. Oh, if you look over on the kind of left middle, you'll see I only have 724K of the yellow material, and it takes 80K for each forging. So it is a little expensive, and that's why you need to make sure you have enough of whatever material your own mastery is. So even if I hit mass forging right now, it's not going to let me do 10. It will let me do 9. I just don't have enough of the mining materials to actually do the full 10. But I'll hit mass forging anyways. We'll do 9, and we'll just see what happens. Before I do that, though, look up towards the top right, okay? See where it says my major mastery. I'm at L5, 1800 of 18,000. After I hit this mass forging, I'm going to create 9 pieces. Each piece gives me 100 points. So I'm going to move from 1800 to 2700 after I do this. So 18,000. So I need to do this about 160 times, or 162 times, I guess, to be exact, to get to L5. This is going to knock out 9 of those for me. So let's do mass forge. Hopefully I get something good. Nope. Nope. And that's fine. It would have been nice to get a really nice gold level piece of equipment, but that's not why I'm really pushing this L5 stuff right now. I want to increase my major mastery, and as you just see, I jumped from 1800 to 2700. So I'm making progress to reaching that L5 major mastery, and then I can start doing L10 stuff. And if I can do that in the next month, I don't think anybody in my state is there yet, so that certainly puts me at the front of the pack, you know what I'm saying? So, push that yourself, and that's going to be an advantage for you. Okay, we'll jump out of that. And now let's jump into the actual equipment pieces a little bit, okay? So I'll jump into my axe. I have a very good axe. So I got lucky here. I'm happy here. So you can see the numbers off to the right-hand side are color-coded. That color coding essentially correlates and coincides with the other colors. So green is the worst, blue is medium, purple is pretty good, orange is great, gold is the best. Okay, so my combat speed increased by 11. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. It's purple. Okay. Now, if you look down at the random attributes, they're all blue, so they're not great in that regard. But this is a great axe, and I'll tell you why. And this is an important thing to look at on all your equipment, because this is a very prominent aspect of Lord equipment, and probably more so than anything else, at least at this juncture of the game, walking into X24, this is amongst the most important things to be aware of, okay? The random attribute, the most prominent random attribute that you're going to get is something relating to a rally, okay? Rally this buff, rally that buff, rally that buff, rally this buff, and all those rally buffs are completely, totally, and utterly pointless. Think about the times when you do a rally. When do you do a rally? When you're killing a Zoltan? When you're killing a Strife over Dragon monster? I think those are literally the only times right now you're doing a rally. So having Lord equipment that helps you with a rally, you might as well not even have that skill. It doesn't matter. It's totally pointless. You don't need it. It's just fluff, okay? So when you're looking at your random attributes, you want to just look for anything that is not a rally increase, a rally attribute increase, okay? And if we look at my axe, I have 4 attributes. They're all only blue level, but all 4 of them are non-rally. They have nothing to do with a rally. So the first one, Soldier's resistance in non-siege battles increases by 5.2%. Soldier's siege might increases by 5.3%. Soldier's might in non-siege battles increases by 5.1%. Soldier's siege defense increases by 5.1%. So none of those have anything to do with a rally. So 4 of 4, no rally. That equates to absolutely wonderful. Okay, so and with a purple level combat speed and blue level non-rally skills, 4 of them, that's a great piece of equipment for this juncture of the game. If you look in the top left corner, you can see this is an L5 piece of equipment. You can now understand why I'm scrambling to get to my major mastery to L6, because then I'm going to be able to craft L10 pieces of equipment, and they're going to be that much better, I'm sure, and of course, okay? So if we look at my next piece here, Soldier's damage increases by 2.3%. And if you look close, I'm only using an orange level piece of equipment here, okay? But the reason that I'm using an orange level piece of equipment is because I'm getting a tactical might increase, okay? So Soldier's damage increases by 2.3%. That's not great, but I did get a tactical might increase right below that. And then the second skill is just absolutely garbage because it's a rally skill, and like we're talking about, rally's garbage. If you go back to my other video on technology, you will understand why I chose this one, even though it's orange and even though it only has 2 random attributes, and that's because it has tactical, and tactical is important, okay? Much more so than most of the other skills that you're going to encounter. Now, it's still the weakest link in my Lord equipment, food chain, so to speak. But it is why I did choose that specific piece of equipment. If we look on this, replace, I even have let's click on a gold one right here. So you can see this is a gold level necklace, but I don't get anything tactical. I do get a damage increase, but I get a damage increase in the first one. So the damage increase is less, and I only get a might increase versus a tactical might increase, and we always want the tactical, versus a regular might. So I chose the best one for what I have. Wish it was better, but it's not. So then we have armor after that. I have, this is what I have. And the first thing I'm looking for again is skills that have nothing to do with a rally, and you can see that all 3 of my random attributes are non-rally related. So this is actually a pretty decent piece of equipment, even though the equipment rating number itself is relatively low at 14,400, because all 3 skills, Soldier's siege defense resistance, Soldier's siege defense resistance, Soldier's resistance, so nothing rally again. So anyways, and I'll just pop the book quick so I don't leave that one, but straight blue across the board. You can see there's a fair amount of random rally skills in there, so not that great. This one's 34,400 in terms of equipment rating number, but number is not how you judge what your equipment is. This one's still relatively weak because rally, 2 of the 4 random attributes have to do with joining a rally, so they're essentially obsolete. You know, they don't do anything for me. So that is that with those. And yeah, I mean, we really just need to be pushing to level 10 as fast as possible. That's got to be your primary goal in kind of this early to mid game going into X24 that we're at, as far as this aspect of the game goes, is just to push your major mastery so that you can do L10 as quickly as absolutely possible. This is a little bit of a deviation, but it is still related. If you look kind of towards the top middle left there, where it says Siege in use, I have created for myself 2 different sets of Lord equipment and created them, or named them accordingly. And you can see when I switch, 2 of the pieces switch when I switch this. And the reason for that is, if you look really closely at your skills, you'll see that some of your skills may favor, you know, siege attacks and siege defense attacks, where some of your skills may favor non-siege battles, okay? So I'm sure I'm not gonna have the, presence of mind to switch every single time when I'm in battle between the 2 sets that I have here. But when I can remember, I do have 1 set that's better if I'm going to be hitting castles, and I do have 1 set that's better if I'm going to be in a tile war. And if I know I'm going to be, in a tile war, if my castle's maybe not in the front and not really so much in danger, sure, if I can remember to, I'm going to switch over to my tile set just to get that little bit of an extra advantage there. That is really the gist of Lord equipment for the most part. Leaderboard, who cares? We looked at how to forge, forging once versus mass forging, looking at our mastery, looking at our mastery skills, knowing we need to reach that level 6 and level 7, and then push our minor mastery. Once we reach that level 6, we want to start banging out our level 10 pieces. And bouncing back just a little bit to an earlier part when we were talking about reaching level 30 in the White Crow quests and some of the really nice items that are there for you when you reach level 30, right? So look right here. This is what I think I got this week for reaching L30. Yeah. A special drawing used to forge the ominous armor can be traded. Attribute guaranteed. After a battle against the enemy legion, its might in the next battle will be reduced. I got this one earlier. Same thing, but for a different type of Lord equipment. So I'm going to have 2 pieces of Lord equipment that are going to damage the enemy's might in the next battle that I will create shortly after I reach level 10. And then I've got a bunch of other ones here that guarantee tactical might. So this is just good stuff. So I'm saving all this until I reach level 10, or until I can start creating level 10 pieces of equipment. Some of it I might have to wait on, some of it I maybe could use now, but even if I could, I want to wait till I reach level 10 so I get better piece of equipment, bang for my buck with these rare casting drawings. But this is why you want to be reaching level 30, or another reason you want to be reaching level 30 in those White Crow quests is to get these special casting drawings that are going to allow you to create some really powerful pieces of equipment once your major mastery reaches level 6 and you start creating level 10 pieces of Lord equipment. So we went over mining and how to best do that. We went over what monsters you need to kill and how to best do that. The 2 buildings I'll show you quick that relate to your Lord equipment are the Alchemy Workshop. So you can equip from here. That just takes you to your profile. You can go to your depot from here, and you can forge from here. But really you don't need to go to the building when you can just click on your profile, and all those same things are down at the bottom of your profile page right there. That's probably easiest. And then you've also got your item exchange over here. And like we were talking about before, well, I mean, you can access the mineral store through your Fortress of Glory, but if you're in your town and you want to get there, I guess you can access your mineral store through here, and that's convenient. But the trade house is basically obsolete. The trade house is shit. You're not going to use the trade house until the devs fix some stuff relating to the trade house, and again, I hope they do. So, I think that's pretty much it. We talked about getting as many materials as possible, how you go about that, what to do with those materials when you get them, as in get your equipment and save your major mastery materials for forging, what you do with your equipment afterwards in terms of splitting to get the casting cores, what you do with the casting cores, which is to chase your major mastery, get to L6, start banging out some really nice L10 equipment, start working on your minor mastery and pushing forward on that while moving forward with your major mastery still. Don't waste casting cores on things that don't push your major mastery forward. I think that's one of the biggest things to remember, is just don't go chasing this or that. Don't go chasing a nice piece of equipment, or don't go chasing trying to reach L30 on the White Crow quests if it's not your major mastery. So maybe do that just a little bit to get yourself, some decent equipment, but don't just push that right now. What you want to push is your major mastery, and then push your minor mastery. All right. Well, I think we have gone over that pretty well, fam. I have not checked, but I have a feeling this is going to be our longest video together to date. If I think of something imperative that was forgotten here, we'll be sure to add it to the comments. Please do let me know, let all of us know, any and all tips that you have relating to the chase for Lord equipment. Please do remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It not only means a lot, but it helps get the word out. It just kind of helps fuel the fire and keep us going with all this. And we really appreciate it. And, equally important to that, if you'd all be so kind, is to share this video in your Viber groups that you're in, be it for your Alliance or other Viber groups, Facebook groups, whatever, and as well as on your Discord channels and whatnot as well. We definitely really do appreciate all the support we're getting in terms of getting the word out and just helping other Rise of Castle friends find the channel so we can all grow together. So with that, on behalf of all the GoodMoFos, we wish you a beautiful X24. I hope you have a lot of fun. We see some old friends on our map from previous Edens, so we're excited to get underway with all our peeps. And just hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. And again, best wishes from everybody at the GoodMoFos. Hope this was helpful. Hope to hear from you in the comments. Take good care, and until the next video, be well. Bye-bye.